Hey, what's up guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be partying together a $950 gaming PC.
It's really hard to build PCs right now, but we did our best to build a budget PC, and this one's not half bad. But before we get into that, let's hear a word from today's sponsor.
Today's video is brought to you by eWow. eWow is an app designed for all the hardware lovers, gamers, and tech enthusiasts out there to share their photos of their battle stations, new gaming PCs, and anything else that comes with geek culture. Part of this app being tailored for gamers is the built-in progression system, where if you post images, send WoW likes to other posts, and engage throughout the community, you can level up your profile and your included pet. With new features being added constantly, this is definitely the new social media app you need to have on your phone today. So please check the link in the description down below to get a head start on connecting with some like-minded individuals and start leveling up your profile. You might even see us there posting some behind-the-scenes content like we've already have. Special thanks again to eWow for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get into the video, shall we?
So a couple of the parts that we have in this build are used, and really the only thing we actually budgeted use is the 1660 Super, which we'll talk about in a minute, but everything else in this build you can buy brand new still, even the 1600 AF. It might be a little bit overpriced at the time of making this video, so make sure you deal hunt.
This whole video is basically just a PSA to show if you do a little bit of deal hunting, you might be able to save some money here and there. Yeah, the market is really bad right now. We're not going to downplay that, but a little bit of patience, you might be able to find some decently priced things to make a gaming PC in 2021. And hopefully later on this year, this won't be a problem. But right now, this is what we got to deal with. So how about we go ahead and talk about each individual part and how it makes up this PC build.
So here we have the Ryzen 1600 AF, which you guys know is kind of a legendary processor. It's basically a Ryzen 2600 in terms of nanometer architecture, but 6-core, 12 threads, still a very relevant processor. You can still buy these on Newegg and Amazon and some other sites, but they're a little bit price hiked right now. I think they're back up to like $170. I wouldn't really pay more than $150 for one, depending on the prices of other processors. And we actually were able to find this thing at a really good deal around $100. If you go on Amazon, sometimes AMD still lists them for under $100, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Now this Ryzen 1600 does come with the stock cooler that actually works really well for it, but we actually decided to get the Cooler Master Hyper 212 RGB Black Edition. So you can get this cooler in a wide range of varieties. The Black Edition is by far my personal favorite just because, well, it looks a lot cleaner than that old stainless steel looking one. And this one does come with an RGB fan as well. You can also just get one with a black fan. The case that we're using has plenty of RGB already, so really you don't need to go RGB on this, but you know, hey, we figured why not. Now for the motherboard, we kind of just were trying to find a good looking full ATX board that didn't break the bank, and this Asus TUF B450 Plus 2 did exactly that. The reason why they call it the B450 Plus 2 is basically because it's Ryzen 1000 through 5000 ready supposedly. So really it's not much different than a normal B450, but it's a really nice looking board. We have a pretty much all black design, full ATX, 4 RAM slots, plenty of expansion options, and also it's the Asus TUF line, which is kind of like their mid-range gaming line, and so far everything that's been TUF branded we've really liked. Now for RAM, we have G.Skill Ripjaws, and this is 16 gigs, 3200 megahertz, running a dual channel, so we have 2 8-gig sticks. It's just pretty basic black RAM, because right now RGB RAM is kind of expensive. At the time of making this video, if I wanted to get the same kit in RGB, it's probably gonna be about 20 bucks more. It used to be almost the same price, so it made sense, but we already have so much RGB going on in this build, we figured, hey, the RAM doesn't also need to be RGB, but if you want to spend some extra money, then RGB it up.
Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is the graphics card. This is the GeForce GTX 1660 Super, the Gaming X version from MSI. The Gaming X line is normally the really high-end lineup of GPUs from MSI, so we're very happy to have been able to snag this one. Yeah, you're gonna be paying a premium for it on the used market. That's just kind of what every GPU is right now. But we were happy to be able to get a 1660 Super build in at under $1,000, which is actually pretty good given everything going on. And now for storage, we have a pretty premium SSD here. This is the Samsung 970 EVO M.2 NVMe SSD. It is 500 gigabytes, and normally Samsung has some of the highest end SSDs that you can get on the market, so we're very excited to be able to use this. Of course, you can spend a little bit more money for like a 1 terabyte drive, but we really want to use this 500 gig from Samsung, and we're very excited to use it. And for the power supply, we have the Corsair CX550M, which is a semi-modular power supply. 550 watts is more than enough for this PC build, and it comes with some nice black sleeve cables, which is an essential in a high-end PC build. And last but certainly not least, the case. This is the BitPhoenix NovaMesh TG, which has the RGB fans pre-installed, and it comes with all those RGB fans, so as Jackson mentioned, we don't need to add a ton of extra RGB to it, and it's super plug and play, so we're very excited to do that. And we are using the white edition. We did build in the other one recently, the black version, version, and we have a couple other versions that we're going to be building in here on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, really awesome, affordable case with RGB fans, really nice airflow, very excited to build in it. Let's not waste any more time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have this $950 gaming PC all put together, let's talk about some benchmarks real quick. Now, we decided to test this PC in a couple of titles, those being Call of Duty Cold War, Fortnite, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but I'll also be sure to mention some games that are similar to these that would give you similar numbers, so if you're at home looking at a certain game for this PC, I'll let you know if it'll actually run. First up, in Call of Duty Cold War, we average over 100 plus FPS on medium-high settings. You could easily crank this up to max settings if you wanted to and get an average of 60 FPS, but for those out there with a 144Hz monitor, you most likely want to run medium-high settings, and the game still looks really good. A similar game to Cold War would be obviously Warzone, any other Call of Duty game out there, Apex Legends, games like that, you would easily be able to get 100 plus FPS on medium-high settings, and on medium-low settings, you could get a locked 144 FPS if you are somebody out there, as I mentioned, with a 144Hz monitor at home, which does make for a really awesome gaming experience. The same goes for everyone's favorite game, Fortnite, and on pro settings, which is epic view distance, everything else on low. Of course, you can use the performance mode, but I have noticed only on really low-end systems does performance mode actually work well. It does seem to cause some stuttering on somewhat higher-end systems, but nonetheless, on pro settings at 1080p, epic view distance, everything else on low, we average well over 144 FPS. Fortnite, CSGO, Rainbow Six Siege, all those esports titles run perfectly fine on this PC. Even games like Valorant, we get almost 200 plus FPS. The 1600 AF is such an awesome CPU. Now, yes, in a game like Fortnite, you start to see where its IPC is a little bit limiting compared to something newer from AMD or Intel, but still getting over 144 FPS on pro settings is no easy task, and I'm really happy to see that the 1600 AF still really holds up. It also makes a great pair with the 1660 Super. You could go with something like a 2060 if you can actually find it, but I've noticed 1660s and 1660 Supers are the one card that, yes, they are a bit overpriced on the used market, but aren't marked up a ton to where you can actually still get some value from them. So whether you're wanting to copy this build or build your own new gaming PC, consider that, because that might be your best option right now. And last but certainly not least is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and on high settings at 1080p, we average 90 FPS. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is our AAA benchmark of choice. On high settings or medium-high settings on pretty much any AAA title out there, you should be able to get a 60 FPS experience with this PC, and given that we were able to get it just right below $1,000, basically $1,000 if you consider tax, I'm actually very happy with this PC for the money. Now, this is where I get to the point of video where I tell you all to be very patient when shopping for PC hardware. It's really hard to find stuff right now, I get it, and I know you all are going to comment down below that it is impossible to pick up these PC parts, but with a little bit of patience and just following all the deal hunting pages, and just keep in mind, this is probably going to be a 1 to 2 month process if you're working at it basically every week to try to find a good deal on PC hardware. You can actually put together a PC. It just takes a lot of time, and if you're willing to invest that amount of time, it will definitely pay off for you. So please use links in the description down below. They are affiliate links and they do help us out, but we'll do our best to try to keep those updated so you guys can actually get your hands on these PC parts, and hopefully later on this year it will not be a problem anymore. So overall, very happy with this PC build for the money. How about we go to bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick.
Alright guys, so as usual, it's a Toasty Bros built PC, so it's perfect. Nothing wrong with it, performs great.
Nothing at all, no. But overall, the PC does perform very well for the money. The 1600 AF and 1660 Super is a pretty awesome pairing, and the fact that we were able to get it at a pretty decent price is awesome. Of course, again, we'll try to leave links in the description down below to as many of these parts as we can. But once again, it's really hard to find graphics cards right now, and the 1600 AF is slightly marked up, so you might have to do a little bit of deal hunting and have some patience, actually. That's something you really need to have. But yeah, with a little bit of luck and a little bit of patience over on eBay, you can definitely pick up a graphics card, and hopefully it's not too marked up.
And once again, shout out to BitPhoenix for letting us use this awesome case and also all their other cases that they sent, because we got every color of the rainbow in these cases, so more videos to come. But we really do like building this case. It's a full tower in design, but it's pretty thin, which I like. It's not like the really stupid, long, heavy, bulky towers. So you got full ATX size, but not a super big tower. So if you guys haven't already, don't forget to check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/toastybros. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Peace out. Hey, if you guys didn't know, we also have a float plane on top of everything else we have, but it's really awesome because there's actually some special behind the scenes content and director stuff that you cannot normally see on the channel.
And also early access videos. This video is probably already up there by the time you're watching on YouTube. So yeah, early access content. And if you just want to support the Toasty Bros, link in the description down below. It's a great way to do so. Thanks again, guys. See y'all later.